So we're going to start with our feet in our lovely Pilates stand, pushing away with the sides of our feet. Draw those abs in, draw the shoulders up to your ears and just relax them down. Draw them up to your ears and just let gravity and the weight of your arms draw them back down. And another one. Lovely. We're going to now turn our attention to the legs and then we'll come back up to the top. So just take your legs just slightly wider than hip width apart. Arms out to the side. I want you to draw the belly button to the spine. I want you to draw the arm over to your right and you'll feel an expansion between your lower rib and hip on the left side. Come to the top. Keep those shoulders away from your ears. So you come over and then back. So there should be no movement in the lower half of your body. So rather than leaning over, you're reaching to touch that arm over to that far wall and back. You see the difference in leaning versus reaching. So you're reaching that arm out to the side. Really nice. Then take the hands onto the hips with those feet a bit lovely and wide, or at least wider than hip width. We're going to do 2 hip circles each side and then draw the right leg in. Take all the weight onto the left side of the body and we're just going to do small hip circles. So we're going to go into the lower half of the body, but starting with some small hip circles. As you're doing this, draw the shoulder blades together, draw the belly button into the spine. As we go, another one, challenging our balance as well. But the key thing we want to do is circle that femur in our hip joint. Another one, go over to the other side, draw that leg in, the weight all on that right leg, slowly bring that left knee up and circle it around. Now you can just do small circles here, okay? So they can just be little circles, or I'll come further central to the screen or I'll lose my balance. You can just draw them around. Let that knee lead, feeling that leg stirring the hip. As we do another 4, another 3, another 2, and another 1. So those feet again, hip width apart. We're going to take them slightly wider. We're going to start with tabletop, where you draw the belly button in, you fold at the waist and the arms reach out to the side. So you have this lovely flat back, crown of the head pulling one way, the tailbone pulling, reaching behind, drawing those abs in. And then we come down, rolling through the spine as the hands come down onto the floor. Now, when the hands are onto the floor here, you can toe heel out a little bit wider so that your hands can reach the floor, okay? Or you can have just your fingertips. And we're going to do side lunges from here. So you're going to bend that right knee, try and bend that knee over the toe, the second toe, as you draw over to the side, that side lunge, feeling that lengthening on that left side. Come up and come over to the left. And we're going to do a few of these, okay? So I want you to feel a loosening out in the inner thighs as you take the leg over, come through the center and take it over the other way. And we'll just do another one each side. Draw it over, up through the middle and over the other side. Come to the middle, try and grab hold onto your calves or your ankles or close to your feet. Draw the chest down into the space between your legs. So we're feeling a release there in the hamstrings. Draw down and breathe into it. A few more breaths there. Draw the belly button into the spine, soften the knees. As you come up, your legs should be fairly wide. So I want you to turn that right leg, that on the right side, facing forward. Your left foot doesn't change, and we bend that right leg and come up. Keep those shoulder blades together as we bend over, back up, reach over, come back up. Bring that back leg closer and turn it to face the same direction. I'll come onto my mat so I'm closer to the camera. Now your legs are not parallel or one behind the other, sorry. There's a space between both legs, okay? So you've got a space between both legs, and we just try and send the heel of the foot behind to the mat and bend that front knee forward. Feeling a stretch this time to the front of the flexors. So we're trying to get all around those hips. Breathe in, and on the out breath, take the hands down each side of your foot and then reach, get a deeper stretch. Maybe take the palms of the hands to the floor as well. Get a deeper stretch in the groin and the inner thighs. A few more breaths there. Push back up, come around to the middle. We're going to go over to the other side. So draw the abs in, come up. This time you've got your right leg facing forward, your left foot facing in the direction you're turning in the waist, looking, bending that knee and reaching up. Bending that knee forward over the middle two toes, back up, keeping the shoulder blades drawn together, bending forward, back up. One more time, reaching forward, back up. Take that other back leg, facing the front as well, trying to send the heel to the floor, bend in that front leg so that back heel comes up. You come over, hand on each side of your foot. As you then come down, bending that front knee even further for a deeper stretch in your flexors. So you can keep that back leg straight if you wish, as you reach down and stretch out a little bit more. Pushing up, come around to the front. We'll just do a couple more side lunges from here. So bend that right leg, straighten the left, reach over. I use my elbow just by the side of my knee there, just to push out for a bit more of a stretch. See how you get on. Straighten that left leg, breathe into it. Come through the middle, walk the hands over, stretch over the other side. Come back through the middle, draw the abs into the spine, roll up and heel toe back into a standing position. Take your right leg over the left leg. Let's try and get into the IT band here. So you take the right, so your right leg's in the front, your right arm comes up, comes over your head. You push out to the side from that waist, feeling again, space there, and just pushing this side of the hip over to that right side. Keep the feet planted. If you want a deeper stretch, you can take that leg a little bit wide if that feels comfortable, and the left arm hangs down, really reaching over. A few more breaths there. Want to hold it here for about 15 seconds in total. Draw those abs in, come up to standing and go the other way. So let's take that left leg over in front of the left, take the left arm out. So your left leg is in front, reach up, and when the arm reaches over, you want to send this left hip over to that left side. The head hangs to the side, and this right arm can hang down. You can hold on to your waist if that side bend feels a little bit too intense. So early in the stretching session, try and feel the whole underside of your feet on the floor. Is your arm right over your head rather than at the front? So rather than leaning there, you're leaning right over the side. Few more breaths. Reach, reach, reach. Arm comes up, and bring your legs back into a Pilates stance. Take your hands on your hips. Actually, let's make them a bit wider. We just want to do a little bit of circling out, a couple of times one way and another in the hips. Really nice. We are now going to come down, I think, straight onto the mat. Just going to do a few more bits standing, but I think we'll come straight down. So you can roll down. Oh, actually, we're going to roll down over each leg this evening. So breathe in, draw the abs in, chin to chest, turning the waist. Let me set the cue up for that again a little bit better. So you want to turn in the waist slightly so you're over that left leg. Breathe in, chin to chest. Breathe out, roll down over that leg. Coming down, stretching out through the left side. We're not spending huge amounts of time on the spine this evening, so I want to make sure our roll down, we're getting into the left side and the right side. Reach down. When your arms come down as far as it can, breathe in, draw the abs in, and on the out breath, roll back up, keeping the abdominals drawn in, the arms and head hanging heavy. You come up, still over that left leg. You turn in the waist to face forward, chin in line with your sternum. You turn again in that waist over to the right, arms and head hang down. Breathe in, chin to chest. Breathe out, roll down over that right leg. Drawing the belly button into the spine as you come down. And when you come down to the bottom, draw those abs in, remain in. Those arms should be hanging like a dead weight on each side of that right leg. And as you draw up, you're drawing up over that right leg, coming up to standing. Draw, face forward, draw the shoulders up to your ears, draw them back behind you, facing forward. We're going to do a nice roll down and come down onto our knees. So chin to chest, roll down through the middle, keep drawing the abdominals into the spine, roll down nice and slowly. And then as you come down as far as you can, bend your knees, palms flat on the mat, walk the hands forward, come down onto your knees. Hands are underneath your shoulders, draw the abdominals in, tuck the tailbone under into a cat-cow, send the spine arching towards the ceiling in a lovely, beautiful C shape, pushing the mat away, pushing so you can push between your shoulder blades, creating as much space between each shoulder blade as you can, and your head hangs down. Now in this position, I want you to walk your hands towards your knees. And each time you walk, you're pushing even more with the palms of your hands. So you're getting quite a nice shoulder stretch. Keep pushing down. So until the hands or your wrists are touching your knees, keep pushing away from the mat, stretching through the back. Release that push, draw the abs in, come up to kneeling, draw the shoulder blades down and back. Take one leg forward as we go back into our flexors. This time you can tuck the tailbone under to feel a little bit of a stretch there, but I'd like us to go straight into the long one where you take the leg a little bit further forward and rock back. We're going to rock 3 times, draw using the abdominals to come back, keep the shoulder blades drawn together, come down, push back. Now on this third one, I want you to come down, pop your hands each side of your feet, curl the toes under on that leg at the back there and push up. So your leg is lovely and straight, the balls of the feet, the toes are curled under, your foot out front is facing forward, all the underside of the foot on the mat, and your weight is on obviously your both feet and on your hands as you stretch through your hips a little further. Keeping your left hand on the mat. You can actually put the palm if you want for more stability. Draw the abs in, take the right arm, take it out to the side, reach up as you twist in the torso so that the torso and the head turns to the right, maybe even being able to turn the head a bit further to look up at the right hand. And take a few breaths there, keeping that back leg straight, drawing the abs in. Breathe in on the out breath, come back down. Take the knee to the floor. We're going to go into a little pigeon stretch here. It's not always comfortable for anyone with problems with their knees, but the important thing is you're not twisting the knee. The knee stays in this 90-degree shape, okay? You're twisting in the hips. So with your hands each side for stability, bring your foot out to the side, still keeping that 90 degrees. Twist, feeling that twist in the hip as you send the left leg straight behind you and your body onto the top of that bent leg for a nice deep stretch, I hope, in the glutes. It's great for the hip as well, but if you've got pain in your knees, please come out of this stretch. Either retry it with getting a bit more twist in the hip, or we can chat about it afterwards, or what we can do to improve. But don't stay in this position if it's painful. Few more breaths there. Walk up with the hands, take both knees behind you. I want you to arch back up through the spine with your arms forward, and then walk the hands back towards your knees as you did earlier, really stretching across the shoulder blades. Push, push, push. Breathe in, draw the abs in, roll up to a full kneeling position, and we go again with the left leg. As I said, if you're really tight in the flexors, tuck the tailbone under there and you get a stretch down the front of your right hip. Otherwise, take this leg out a little bit further, draw the abs in, roll down and come up. So we're just teasing out a little bit more of a stretch there in the flexors, where the three of us will all be doing the splits by tomorrow. One more, reach forward, take those hands each side of that front foot, curl the back toes under, using the hands, push up so that back leg is beautifully straight. And we just breathe into that there. You can use your hands as much as you want to hold your weight, depending on how intense you're feeling that stretch in your flexor. Few more breaths there. Then popping the right hand fully on the mat, taking your left hand, taking it out to the side, twisting in the torso, eye line looking up at that hand. Keep breathing. Really relax into that stretch. Few more breaths. Really nice work. Bring the hands back down. Take the back knee to the floor. And then with this front, we're going to go into our pigeon stretch. So take the leg out to the side, making sure you're not twisting in the knee. The twist is in your hip. As you put your forearms onto the mat, each side of that knee, send that right leg straight behind you and placing your chest on the top of that front bent leg, drawing down, breathing into it, feeling that stretch and release in the hips, maybe in some areas of your glutes, depending on where you're holding tension or feel a little bit stiff. Breathe into it, and the more you relax, bring your chest closer to the top of that leg. That back leg, lovely and relaxed. And a few more breaths there. Really nice. Push up with both knees out behind. We're going to walk the hands forward, pop the forearms in front, draw the shoulder blades together, sending the hips to the mat, pushing away, drawing the shoulder blades together. They glide down your back as you look forward into our Sphinx. So both legs are lovely and relaxed and straight out behind. And a few breaths there. If you want a deeper stretch there through the back, you can take your hands out to the front and push away and come into a Cobra. So your arms are straight, your back is curved, but your pelvis remains on the floor as you look slightly ahead, keeping your chin in line with your sternum, your neck lovely and long, and breathe. And then come down onto the mat, push away, and we sit back onto our heels into a child's pose. Arms out into the front and breathe. Taking the left hand, take it out at that tent 10 to, or between the 10 and 11 on the hand of the clock, walking the right arm over. If you can, placing the right arm on top of the left, bending that left arm if it helps deepen the stretch. But we're essentially stretching out of the hip all the way up the side on our right, even down to our arms. So you can play with it on that side till you get the stretch you need, and breathe into that stretch for a few more breaths. And then when you're ready, take both arms back up into that 12 o'clock position. Take the right hand over between a 1 and 2 o'clock position. Walk in the left hand over till you feel that deep stretch, or until that left hand is on top of the right. You reach away. If you want a deeper stretch, bend that right arm so the left arm stretches even more. Feel a stretch coming out of that hip, up the arm, up the side and up the arm. Few more breaths there. And then come back to the front, come back up onto 4 points, and we'll do another cat-cow. And before we come down onto the mat, so draw the tailbone under, arch up to the ceiling into our angry cat position. Head comes down, looks at the top of your thighs. Breathe in, breathe out, take the tailbone up towards the ceiling, the abdominals come down towards the mat. Shoulder blades glide down your back, eye line comes to look at the front as your shoulder blades draw together, and you arch down towards the floor. Come up to find that midpoint, that neutral spine, and then we're going to come over onto our backs. So on your backs, knees bent, heels in line. Just going to try and put a bit of light on me there. I can feel them in a bit of darkness, but trying to avoid putting the ceiling lights on if I can. Right, so we're on our backs, knees bent, hips lovely and aligned. I want you to feel your knees, the back of the ribs and the hips melting into the mat. And we're just going to do a little bridge here just to ease out through the spine before we come back to the hips. So breathe in on the out breath, come into a flat back position, tuck the tailbone round, reach the tailbone to the ceiling. And as you engage your abdominals and your glutes, sending your hips up to the ceiling. Keep pushing up. And when you're at the top, taking a few breaths, when you're ready, roll down through the spine, one vertebra at a time. Try and create space, try and land each single vertebra as you roll down through the back and into your neutral spine. From there, on your next out breath, we're going to take one knee up to the ceiling into a tabletop position, knee directly above your hips. And we're going to do a circle with those hips. So it doesn't matter which direction. I just want you to imagine that you have a pencil off the end of your knee and you're drawing a circle on your ceiling. The hips don't move. Draw those abs in to your 30% and engage and hold those hips. As you circle once more, that femur in the hip joint. Really important to mobilize through our joints. Let's go back round the other way. You can keep that circle lovely and small. You can make it a little bit bigger, but we don't want to be seeing huge circles where we're taking our hips out of alignment and moving in through our torso. So work with your abdominal strength. Keep the other foot lovely and light on the floor. Take that foot to the floor. Breathe in, out, take the other leg up to tabletop. And again, we're going to circle around that leg. You really want to focus on moving that upper thigh so you can feel, for want of a better phrase, that thigh stirring in the hip joint. The abdominals holding the hips, so the hips and the pelvis remain absolutely still. The back of your head relaxed on the mat, the nose pointing to the ceiling, and back round the other way, just making sure the other leg isn't trying to do a different dance, that it's holding you lovely and steady and quite relaxed. As you do 2 more circles on this side. And when you're done, take both feet to the floor. Draw the right knee into your chest. Send the left leg away, straight out, but on the floor. You can hold on the knee and in the crease of the knee, but I want you to draw your knee towards your chest. Should actually feel quite relaxed. We've done a little bit of stretching out already, so it should feel a little bit more looser than maybe when we do these in other classes. And then taking your left hand on the outside of that right knee, the right arm goes out to the side. I want you to draw that knee over towards your opposite shoulder, breathing into it. It may not come down close to your torso. Both shoulder blades at this point are still on the mat. Draw over, and then slowly keep drawing that knee over the midline to this floor on the left side. And now your right shoulder may come off the floor, but as we draw that right knee over towards the floor on the left side. And if you can, feels comfortable, turn the head, if not all the way, but towards your right hand. Breathe into that stretch. Bring that knee up, draw the abs in to help, make sure the abs are helping you. Take that knee to the floor. Bend your the left knee in towards your torso. Lengthen that right knee leg away. May feel a little bit sensitive where you've been stretching out, so give it a nice stretch as you draw the left knee in towards your chest. Keep drawing, never ever force, but keep that pressure, so working with your breath. And then take your right hand to the outside of the left knee, your left arm out to the side. Draw that left knee over the midline, but towards the right shoulder. And hold and breathe into it there as we get into all the hip area. And then slowly you take that knee over the midline towards the floor on the right. You feel the left shoulder may leave the floor, depending on how far you can get that knee over. Take the knee down to the floor so you have quite a strong turn or rotation in the hips. And you turn to look at that left hand. Keep drawing that left knee to the floor and keep breathing. Really nice. Come back up onto your back. Both feet on the floor. We're going to do another little bridge to ease out through the spine again. So breathe in. On the out breath, flat back. Roll all the way up. Lifting one vertebra at a time. Engaging both the abdominals and your glutes to lift you up as high as you can. Your arms lovely and relaxed by your side. And then when you're ready and on your next out breath, we're going to come back down to the mat, and I'd like you to land. Really build that mind-body connection to land every single one of your vertebrae, one at a time, onto the mat, really curling that lumbar or that lower back so you can really get into that area towards your hips. Going to then lengthen the legs away and lengthen the arms away and stretch, reaching away in each direction. And then with it, taking your legs just to the inside width of your mat and the arms out to the side. I want you to take the right arm and I want you to bring it over your body to come over to touch or reach or go on top of the left hand. So you'll feel the right hip come off the mat, and you'll feel a slight turn in your feet, but keep your feet where they are. And then to get a little stretch from your shoulders, Take that right arm up as if you're pointing to that 1 or 2 o'clock position. Reach, reach, reach. Few more breaths there. Bring the hands on top of each other. Take the hips flat to the mat and bring the arm over. And we'll do the same over the other side. So take that left arm, reach it over the body, over towards the left arm, right hand. So you've got your left hand on top of your right hand. Then reach up towards an 11 or 12 o'clock position. So you should get a stretch through your shoulders and you feel a little bit of a pull or a nice little release stretch, hopefully on the back of the hips as well. Draw those abs in, keep reaching up towards that at 10 or 11 o'clock position. Reach, reach away. Bring the hand back on top of the lower hand, hips come back onto the mat, and both hands come back down. And we're going to go over onto our fronts. So we're on our fronts, legs reaching away, pressing the pelvis into the floor, arms, hands each side of your shoulder blades, eye line hovering above the mat. We're going to do a few little swan dives here. So draw those abs in, breathe in, and on the out breath, I want you to push the marble away with your nose. As you draw up, draw the shoulder blades down your back, shoulder blades draw together. As you come up, stretching through that upper back, lovely back extension. Draw those abs in, make sure there's no tension as you do these. You're going to do 3 in your own time, just making sure there's no tension going into your lower back. So you breathe out, breathe in, sorry, and on the out breath, roll the marble away with your nose. The neck lengthens to an extent that it starts to lift off the floor, the shoulders start to lift as you get a lovely extension in your upper spine. And back down to do 1 more. Breathe in, out, roll that marble away. Reach, 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 abs drawn in. You want to leave that bottom rib on the mat if you can. You don't want to be pressing into the floor, but the hands grounded in the floor at the same time. From there, take your arms out to each side. We're now going to take our right leg, draw those abs in on the out breath, take that right leg up. You want to keep the left shoulder on the mat as you take that left leg over the right leg. So I've got my right leg over my left leg, stretching through the hips. And you'll also hopefully get a shoulder stretch as well. Can you see that okay, folks? Yeah? Do you want me to turn the bigger light on? Anyway, so breathe in, a few more breaths there. Come back over onto your fronts. You'll see a little bit better. Maybe I should have gone on this side to start. Breathe in, draw the abs in on the out breath. Take the left leg and come up over the midline, over your legs. Take that leg behind for a stretch through the hips, but you should also feel a nice stretch through your shoulder on that right side. Few more breaths there. Come back over onto your fronts, push up and push back into child's pose. Reaching the arms away, taking the bottoms to your heels and breathe. We're now going to come over. Did you have a band close to hand? We always like to have our band. We've got a few more minutes. I'd like to do a few more stretches out. So take your band. Come over onto your backs. Just stretch through and do it. We're going to do some hip circles with the band. So your left leg is bent. You've got a flexed foot on the right leg. The band is in your right leg. Keep that right leg lovely and straight. As you draw that leg towards your torso, stretching out in the hamstrings on the right leg, breathing into it, releasing it off. I want you to straighten that left leg a little, We're just going to do one circle on each side. So draw that right leg towards you. Take it out to the right outside, keeping it straight, really circling that leg in the hip joint, taking it around. It goes over the left leg, over to the left side, using the band for control. Comes back up to the starting position. Breathe in on the out breath, go the other way. So draw it towards your body, take it over the left leg, over to the outside of the left there, circling it around, using the band, all the way to the right outside. Keep drawing it around, and then back up to the starting position. Take it up to the top, release it off, and pop your left leg in, bending your right, flexing the left foot, banding the left hand, keeping that left leg flexed. Draw that leg towards your torso, breathing into it, keeping that leg as straight as you can, feeling a nice stretch in the back of your legs, breathing into it every time that the muscles release off. Draw the band a little bit closer. Keep breathing into it and release it off so it's perpendicular. This time, straighten that right leg. Breathe in, and on the out breath, draw the leg one more time towards your torso. This time you want to take it over and out to the left side. You can take your right arm out to balance if you wish. Nice big circle. Use that band to steady the leg, enjoying that massive circle, that lovely big flexibility, that mobility of that hip as you take the leg over the midline, right to the right side, back up towards your head, and both the back of the hips both come back onto the mat. And we'll go one more the other way. Draw the leg towards you, circle it over the midline, round over the right, down towards the feet, circling it out towards the left, back up towards the head, and then back up to the top. Pop your other leg in, draw the abs in on the out breath, rock up to sitting. Pop your band to the side, and we're going to come over onto 4 points. Push up through the balls of the feet and press your heels one at a time to the floor for a really nice stretch through the back of your legs, particularly your calves. Couple more times, then walk your feet in towards your hands. Draw the abs in, let the arms hang heavy as you roll up to standing. Keep the abs drawn in. Restack the spine one vertebra at a time. Drawing the shoulder blades together as you come to the top. And then when you're standing, take your feet hip width apart, the left arm over the head for a side bend. Draw those abs in and come over the other way. Stretching out over the other side. Come up to standing, legs slightly wider as we circle through the hips twice one way, twice the other way. Feet back in to our Pilates pose as we breathe in and reach up. Breathe out, bend those knees over the middle 2 toes. The arms come round under your knees. Reach back up on the in-breath. Hands together, breathe out, and bring those hands down to your front. And you are done. Thank you.